During my last vacation, I visited a sister who manages a rehabilitation center for psychiatric patients. Sister Mabel is a dynamic nun with a rare gift of knowing the right herbs to administer to those who have mental disorders. The center is in one remote part of our neighboring village. The foundation is still young, but the members have the extra virtue of patience. When I arrived in their convent, Sister Mabel wasn't at home, as she was engaged in her evening visits of the patients and their respective families. They were in a makeshift center situated in an uncompleted building at the local government site. Patiently, I waited as I tried to imagine what motivates Sister Mabel to dedicate herself to such a rare apostolate. Their convent is a few-bedroom apartment inside one big bush with little to no comfort. Yet, paradoxically, when you meet Sister Mabel on the road, simple by the way she smiles and moves, you might think that she lives in luxury. But their condition of life is hardly above poor village life experience. After a long wait, she came back smiling like a bright sunny day. As I didn't announce my coming, she went into her house and ransacked it to see what she could offer me for such a surprising visit. And after a moment of discussion, she offered to give me a tour of the center. A little trek through the bushes brought us to this uncompleted building where the patients and their families squatted. Seeing the sister arrive was a tremendous relief for the families. They see her as their last resort in a country where the government has no plan for its citizens. So for those families, this center is their last recourse. But the government and the society do not know what to do with psychiatric patients in Nigeria and in many other countries. As you can imagine, most of the families arrive at the center discouraged with no other hope than whatever Sister Mabel will offer them as a solution. But one thing is sure, they all felt welcomed and accepted by the sisters. Most have tried every other possible alternative at their disposition and have come with no high expectation, but Sister Mabel has a way of making them feel at home. She has her herbs, prayers, radiating smiles, and God to offer the families. In today's first reading, we encounter a similar narrative. The citizens of the southern kingdom were faced with an impossible situation. Assyria has conquered Jerusalem, and both the king and the leaders of Jerusalem have nothing to offer their citizens as a sign of security. They were like our present leaders, interested in protecting their political interests. They go for political alliances favorable to their ambitions, exposing their citizens to mockery and delusion. But at this point, the prophet comes with the good tidings, announcing the arrival of better days. To the mothers already grieving the looming danger about to take away their sons and daughters, kill their husbands, and leave them widows, he assures God's protection by proclaiming the words that suit their afflicted hearts. Shout for joy, O daughter of Zion, the prophet proclaims. Sing hopefully, O Israel. Be glad and exult in your heart, O daughter of Jerusalem. Yes, you are faced with news of imminent danger. The soldiers might be at your gate, but fear not. Rejoice and be glad. The Lord has removed the judgment against you. He has turned away your enemies. The King of Israel, the Lord, is in your midst. You have no further misfortunes to fear. Today in our midst are many afflicted people. Families with no hope of surviving the day. Youth with no plan but shattered dreams need prophets like Sister Mabel to tell them that the Lord has not abandoned them. They need prophets and prophetesses who understand their plights and who can sacrifice their comfort, allow them to hope for a better tomorrow. Yeah, our society needs many prophets and prophetesses. Yet, There are many of them who proclaim God's love daily to those oppressed. These prophets go extra mile to assure that no sons or daughters of Jerusalem is oppressed. They bring balms from Gilead to soothe the afflicted hearts of God's treasured children. The question is, do we recognize them and work with them to bring the kingdom to the most abandoned? And if we feel rejected and abandoned by the society or our church, let us remember the words of Paul in the second reading of today. Brothers and sisters, rejoice in the Lord always, he says. I shall say it again, rejoice. The Lord is near. The Lord is near and will come to our rescue. He will guide us through our times of torments and hardships. He will send a prophet like Sister Mabel or other contemporary prophets and prophetesses to save the day. We should always remember to have no anxieties at all, but in everything, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, we should make our requests known to God. Because we too could be prophets and prophetesses that our communities need at this troubling moment. The word of God today invites us to ask like the crowd in the gospel of today. Teacher, what should we do? What is it that we should do? Let's hear him remind us not to practice extortion, false accusation, and to satisfy what we have. And like in today's responsorial psalm, we are told, shout with exultation, O city of Zion, for great in your midst is the Holy One of Israel. May this Advent season bring us prophets and prophetesses in our times of need.